Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to getting informed
Mhm.
and hopefully really engaged with some interesting ideas. Today, we're diving into something pretty compelling. We've got the astrology of the day and also a story scope called the Titan's Choice. Both of these are for August 27, 2025, and they come from a source called Tarot by High C. If you're curious, you can check them out at tarotbyhisisteady.net. So our mission today, we really want to explore those big choices we all face, when desire and control and that longing for real connection kind of crash into each other. This isn't just about reading star charts. It's more about understanding those deep currents in our emotional lives and our relationships. What actually happens when that drive for power, maybe even unconscious power, clashes with wanting something real, something authentic. Okay, let's unpack this.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How these daily snapshots, these astrological insights, often tap into such universal human stuff. They give us this framework, really, to think about our own choices. And for this particular day, the influences seem to really zero in on truth, those hidden emotions, and exactly that struggle you mentioned. The one between asserting ourselves and, well, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. What's great about this material is it really encourages you to look deeper, beneath the surface, to ask why, not just what.
Yeah, that invitation to look deeper is right there from the start, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the general forecast for the day. It kicks off with this really direct question. What truth have we been avoiding? Pow, right there. And then it paints this picture saying diplomatic masks fall to reveal what's actually happening in the emotional underground.
Hmm.
That phrase, emotional underground, it's really striking. Makes you think about trusting your gut, maybe. What you feel deep down.
Exactly. Even if the surface looks calm or polite, that underground suggests something else might be brewing.
Right. And the forecast also talks about how winning at any cost could feel urgent, like our desires get supercharged. But then almost immediately it offers this counterpoint, saying that seeing others get hurt might make us question that ruthless approach.
A moment of empathy cutting through the ambition.
Yeah, exactly. It points to this friction between feeling and power, between what we know deep down in our bones and what we're actually willing to admit, even to ourselves. It suggests using the afternoon to sort of prepare for insights that might be uncomfortable, but ultimately liberating, and to sort through priorities.
Which is often necessary when things feel intense, right? Getting clear on what truly matters.
Definitely. And it all seems to build towards the evening, described as a confrontation with reality, where, okay, maybe we can't have everything we want, but we can potentially have whatever we want most. That's a key distinction.
That distinction is crucial. And going back to the emotional underground and diplomatic masks, it really highlights how often we perform, doesn't it? We put on a show instead of just being authentic. Maybe because we're scared of what happens if we show our real selves, our vulnerabilities.
Makes sense. A performance as a shield.
Right. And that friction between feeling and power. It's not just a minor thing. It suggests our actions, especially when we're in that win at any cost mode, might be driven by hidden desires or fears we haven't even acknowledged. So it's like the day itself is pushing for authenticity. It's almost demanding it. It really prompts you, the listener, to ask, what is my deepest desire here? Beyond the surface stuff, beyond just wanting to be in control, what's the real prize?
Okay, so let's drill down a bit because this gets really interesting with one specific alignment mentioned. Venus, opposite Pluto, RX. Now, opposite means tension, a push-pull, and RX means Pluto's retrograde, often making its energy more intense, more inward-looking, maybe even disruptive. The source says this is where power, pride, and passion lock horns, a real clash.
You can almost feel that, can't you?
Totally. And is presented as a call to lean into honesty, not performance. To really seize control of our lives in an authentic way, turn ideas into reality. But, and this is a big but, it can also ignite power struggles in relationships. It shines a light on imbalances, bringing up jealousy, control issues, maybe old stuff, old resentments.
Stuff we thought was buried, perhaps.
Exactly. And the source asks this incredibly sharp question. If we feel a control struggle emerging, pause and name what's really happening to win love or to win power. Are we actually chasing validation or are we seeking real connection? Wow, that's a tough question to ask yourself in the heat of the moment.
It really is. And the brilliance here is how this alignment forces that question. It's like a cosmic intervention, as you said. We often disguise wanting validation or control as wanting love. But winning love in this context can mean performing, manipulating, trying to get something from the other person.
Right, it's not genuine giving or receiving.
No. And winning power is about dominance. Neither is real connection, which, needs vulnerability. It needs trust. It needs seeing each other, warts and all. So how often do we mix up controlling someone with caring for them? Or mistake getting validation for feeling genuinely loved?
That's a really crucial distinction.
And what hides the real motivation? Usually fear, right? Fear of not being good enough, fear of being rejected, fear of losing that sense of control. This alignment is basically an opportunity to face that fear and maybe redefine what winning in love actually looks like. Hint, it's not about dominance.
Okay, and adding another layer to this, there's another aspect mentioned. Pluto trines Sedna. Now, a trine usually means a more harmonious flow, even with intense players like Pluto transformation, power, and Sedna, which is linked to deeper, sometimes collective wounds and big shifts. The source sums it up as detoxification and transfiguration, basically letting go of old ways so something new, a major shift, can happen.
A kind of shedding of old skin, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But it also brings up darker themes.
Right.
Things like the use and abuse of power, betrayal, deception. What really stood out to me was the mention of exposing motivations to maintain control by creating fear. And it actively encourages releasing old identities that have kept us in victim consciousness. So it sounds like a deep clean by the. Is it always something we choose, or does this energy sometimes just force these uncomfortable truths on us?
That's a great question. I think it's often both. And notice how beautifully these two aspects work together. You have Venus, opposite Pluto, bringing up the tension, the power struggles, the old resentments, right?
We're feeding it right in your face.
Exactly. And then Pluto trine Sedna offers the way through the detoxification. It's like, here's the issue, and here's the potential release. It's about letting go of the very thing as the first aspect brought up. So to your question, we might feel that push, that need for change, even if we resist it at first. Or the universe might just create situations where our old patterns simply don't work anymore, force our hand, so to speak. Exposing those fear-based control tactics is key to the transformation. Seeing how we might be trapping ourselves or others, it's really about shifting out of that victim mindset into a place of empowered change, moving from being acted upon to actively creating our reality.
Wow. Okay. So how does all this translate into like a story? This is where the story scope called the Titan's Choice comes in. It's a really vivid allegory. We meet two Titan spirits. First, there's Ignis. He embodies searing passion and unyielding pride, described as a tempest of crimson and gold, pure fire.
Intense imagery.
Totally. And opposite him is Umbra, the master of control and shadowed might. His essence is deepest indigo and most absolute black, shadow and control. And between them, hanging in the air, is this heart-shaped beacon of pure, fragile light. This is the symbol of true connection. But it's flickering, unsteady, threatened by their opposing forces and by jealousy, control, and age-old resentments bubbling up. The source stresses this isn't just a minor tiff, it's a profound moment of choice.
The central dilemma made manifest.
Exactly, the choice is stark. Reach for that fragile light, for genuine love, or grab the cold, unyielding scepter of dominance. Ignis, the fiery one, he roars, "My passion demands recognition. My truth, unbridled, will illuminate all." And he surges forward, his fiery breath literally threatening to consume the delicate light. But the story adds this detail. Beneath the fire, his eyes show this desperate yearning for the very connection he seems about to destroy. Which brings us back to that core question from the astrology. Was he just chasing validation for being so intense, or did he genuinely want to share his heart's energy? Big difference.
Ignis is such a perfect picture of that Venus-Pluto tension, isn't he? The passion, the pride, the potential ruthlessness, the need for validation. He delights his truth as the light. But that sheer intensity, untempered by awareness or maybe respect for the other.
It becomes overwhelming, consuming.
Precisely. It highlights that fine line between passionate self-expression and maybe unconsciously just wanting to dominate with your energy. True sharing needs space. Vulnerability, not just blasting someone with your brilliance. Ignis shows how even powerful positive energy can feel like a threat if it lacks empathy.
Right. Then there's Umbra. Cloaked in suffocating silence, his power is different. He counters Ignis, his voice like grinding tectonic plates. He says, "Control is the essence of order. This connection you speak of is but a fleeting spark, easily extinguished without firm guidance."
Oof. Chillingly rational in a way.
It is. And he extends a shadowy hand, not to embrace the light, but to encircle it, contain it, bend its fragile will to his own. And again, that question, is this just a shield against his own vulnerability? Or is there a twisted desire to protect, but only through domination?
Umbra connects so clearly to those Pluto-Sedna themes, an abuse of power controlling through fear. He represents that paradox, trying to protect connection by controlling it, which inevitably kills it, like trying to hold on to water too tightly.
You just end up losing it.
Exactly. That fear of vulnerability, of the messiness that true connection involves, can make us want to impose order, control outcomes. It's a defense mechanism, but it leads to isolation. His argument for order masks a fear of chaos, perhaps a fear of feeling itself. Real connection needs freedom, trust, not containment.
So the whole story scope basically crystallizes that central question we saw in the astrology, hanging right there between them. Were they trying to win love or just win power? Was it all this grand performance for cosmic applause? Or was it underneath a naked, honest plea for real connection?
Hmm.
And the ending implies the answer isn't in their big, loud declarations. It's in a subtle shift of their titanic wills, a transformation that could either embrace the light or, well, plunge them both into an eternal, solitary night. The stage wasn't set for a battle, it says, but for this profound unveiling of the heart's true desire. It's quite a powerful reflection of those inner choices.
Wow.
We've definitely covered some deep territory today. From that general forecast urging us to look underground, past the masks,
Yeah.
to Venus opposite Pluto highlighting those intense relationship dynamics, the power struggles, and then Pluto trine Sedna offering that passive detoxification, letting go of old patterns.
And seeing it all played out with Ignis and Umbra, passion versus control.
Yeah, that struggle with passion, control, and that incredibly fragile thing called true connection. This has really been about exploring that friction, hasn't it, between what we feel, what we want, and how we choose to connect. Or maybe how we choose to control.
It has. And this deep dive into the Titan's choice, drawing on the astrology, it really leaves you with a pretty compelling question, I think. In your own moments of truth, when your own power and passion seem to lock horns inside you, what are you really striving for? Is it that fragile, luminous heart of genuine connection? Or, maybe without even realizing it, are you still reaching for that cold scepter of dominance, of control? The real change, as the story suggests, might be in those subtle internal shifts, just recognizing our deepest motivations, our true desires. That's often the first and maybe the most liberating step, the unveiling of the heart's true desire. It's an ongoing journey, isn't it? A profound one.
Absolutely. A really profound thought to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. Keep questioning, keep exploring these ideas, and definitely keep reflecting on how these powerful themes play out in your own life.